Hey, if you were doing research about relocating to Houston, you may have come across Cypress, Texas. So in today's video, I wanted to clear up some information about Cypress because there is a lot of conflicting information online, as well as tell you some of the best neighborhoods I personally think are in Cypress, Texas. There's going to be probably half of them you've heard about quite a bit, and then there's going to be the other half that you haven't heard about so much. These are more of the established neighborhoods that have really good school districts, maybe a little bit more affordable than some of the newer construction neighborhoods, but they're really good neighborhoods. For those of you new here, my name is Danielle. I am a Cypress resident as well as a mother of 3. I'm the top 1% realtor in the area as well as a small business owner. So I feel like I bring a lot of perspective when it comes to Cypress, Texas. All right, so the first neighborhood I want to talk about, and this one is probably one of my top 2 favorites in the Cypress area. And if I would have known about it when I moved here, I definitely would have considered it. It's Kohls Crossing. Homes were built in the late 90s to early 2000s, so there's definitely no new construction in this area, but the neighborhood has these huge mature trees, the lots are bigger, the average size home is 3,000 square feet, and honestly, it's really highly demanded. Like, the turnover rate in that neighborhood is so low because it's a really good neighborhood. Another thing that people really like about this neighborhood is the elementary school. We have quite a few highly rated elementary schools here in the Cypress area, so you really can't go wrong with many of them. But I would say there are 3 to 4 parent to parent that people really seek just because of the teachers, the atmosphere for the students, and just the overall rating of the school. And the elementary school zoned to Kohls Crossing is one of those elementary schools. Of course, since it is an older neighborhood, the homes will need a little bit of home maintenance and probably some cosmetic updates along the way. But in my opinion, this neighborhood is just as good of quality as the newer master plan communities like Town Lake or Bridgelin. You still have all the amenities, you have the pools, you have the walking trails, the lakes, and it's just a really good, well-maintained community. If you're open to a resale or existing home, this neighborhood is definitely a gem. Number 2 on my list, of course, I'm going to mention this one. And yes, I am 100% biased because I do live in this neighborhood, and that is Bridgelin. If you are researching online, Bridgelin might seem a little overwhelming since there are so many residents that live here and the area of Bridgelin is so large. But something to keep in mind is that each section of Bridgelin is almost like its own little neighborhood, and they all have their own distinct style and aesthetic. So it doesn't feel as big as it actually is. I personally chose Bridgelin because I wanted an area that was, one, really good for kids, had on-site schools, walking trails, playgrounds, parks, lakes, all of that. Bridgelin is definitely one of the anchors of Cypress. A lot of people, when they think of Cypress, they are thinking of Bridgelin. But again, Bridgelin prices are pretty expensive, especially on the Cyfair side, so you are paying a premium for this neighborhood. And if you want the same idea and you're okay with an older home, I would definitely go with some of the older neighborhoods I'm telling you about, like Kohls Crossing. If you are considering Bridgelin, I do highly recommend that you look at all the sections of Bridgelin, the newer sections as well as the older sections, because they look completely aesthetically different. And they're also very different price points. Of course, the other popular one that I'm going to mention is Town Lake. Town Lake is very close to Bridgelin. It was here before Bridgelin, and I would consider this one more luxurious than Bridgelin when it comes to the amenities and what is offered within the master plan community. People love Town Lake because of the location, the highly rated schools, the amenities like the motorized boats, the boardwalk. There's just a lot of stuff that Town Lake offers, and it's kind of the anchor of Cypress for the restaurants and things to do in the area. There is limited new construction left in Town Lake. A majority of the homes have already been built from the mid-2000s up until recently. You have a very small chance left this year to get a new construction home, but for the most part, you're going to be looking at existing homes in Town Lake now. Again, similar to Kohls Crossing, if you are looking for a more budget-friendly alternative to Town Lake or Bridgelin, then I would suggest Cypress Creek Lake. Cypress Creek Lakes is pretty much sandwiched in between Bridgelin and Town Lake. So you are actually in Cypress Creek Lakes, but you were zoned to Town Lake's schools. You're also very close to both Town Lake and Bridgelin public amenities like the boardwalk, walking trails, lakes, etc. So you get all the built-in amenities of the area, plus you get a lower property tax and you get more house per square foot than you would in Town Lake or Bridgelin for very similar things because Cypress Creek Lakes also has its own pools and splash pads and little amenity centers. So it is a really, really nice neighborhood. Again, some of the resistance people have around these neighborhoods is that they are a little older. They were built more than a decade ago, so the houses will need home maintenance as well as a little bit of cosmetic updating. But in my opinion, the amount you're saving on property taxes as well as the home price, while still getting many of the same benefits, is a really good alternative, especially in a market like today. Number 5 on my list is Dunham Point, and I don't talk a lot about this neighborhood, and I'm not really sure why. I guess there was nothing really special about it when I initially saw it. The pro about Dunham Point is, one, the location. It's right off of 290 and it's very close to the Fairfield shopping area. Another really good thing about Dunham Point is that you can get top tier builders and larger than average new construction lots compared to many of the other master plan communities in the area. So if the home itself is more important than the schools and the neighborhood and the amenities, then Dunham Point is a great option. All right, number 6 on my list is Fairfield. This is another one that isn't talked about a lot because it is older and it seems like the demand for older homes is a little less than it once was. Fairfield is the anchor of Cypress when it comes to shopping. This is where the Costco is. This is where the really good Home Goods is, the movie theater, the Kroger, the H-E-B. Everything you're going to need on the weekends is in the Fairfield area. Did I say the outlet malls? The outlet malls are also in Fairfield. If you are an entry-level buyer looking for an affordable home that is zoned to top-rated schools, then I would highly suggest Fairfield as your number 1 option, because the schools of Fairfield are, at least the high school, is the same as Bridgelin High. So you are getting significantly less price per square foot because the home is older. You're getting low property taxes and you're getting highly rated schools, and you are close to everything you could possibly need on a daily basis. Another thing I really like about Fairfield is the community itself. I've never heard a bad thing about Fairfield. They're one of the master plan communities that continues to have community events and farmers markets, and it's just a tight-knit community. One thing I do want to note about Fairfield though is I have noticed that there has been an increase in investors in the area because it is so affordable and it has low property tax, and the rental rate is really high because of the school district. So I would just be very particular about the areas you are choosing within Fairfield. So make sure you do your research as you're looking through Fairfield. Number 7 on my list are the golf course communities. I'm talking Stonegate and Black Horse Ranch. Black Horse Ranch is a beautiful community. They have huge houses and huge lots that face the golf course. But Stonegate in particular, I think, is one that is often overlooked because it's technically in the city of Houston, but the schools are zoned to Cy-Fair ISD. So when you're looking on the MLS or in Zillow, it's not going to come up on your search because it's in Houston. Again, this is a really good community, especially if you're a golfer, because this is a top-notch golf course. They have a country club, and there's also a ton of parks, splash pads, tennis courts. Everything you could need within a master plan community is within Stonegate. The property tax is very, very low. So again, you can get a lot of house with low property taxes and really good rated school districts. And number 8 on my list is Marvita. Marvita, I have a love-hate with. Initially, I really liked it because of the schools zoned to it were really good. This last year, they had a rezone, so a lot of people who purchased homes within Marvita are now zoned to a school they were not anticipating. Supposedly, they're going to open their own elementary school and it will all be well again. But in the meantime, I have hesitations recommending Marvita, especially if schools are important to you. But if you are looking for an entry-level new construction home, Marvita is probably your best option in the Cypress area. They do have quite a few entry-level builders, but there are also some really good mid-tier builders in there that I would personally consider. Another benefit to Marvita is that it is a sister community to many other master plan communities within the Cypress area, so you'll also have access to all of their amenities and features as well. So you get a lot more within your HOA dues compared to other master plan communities in the area. If you have any questions about moving to Cypress and the different areas, feel free to fill out the form below so we can chat. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.